Okay, guys, welcome. Here early in the morning for civics. I appreciate you guys taking the time to join me. If you have not done so while we're kind of talking through this, please go on to Zoom. Today's lesson is, if you can see my screen, I'm inside the actual civics class. You click on this, it'll bring up this document, which is what we're going to talk about today. Just a few things before we get started. Number one, there has been a change in the schedule. For those of you that are maybe not aware, from here on out until the end of the year, civics and math will always meet on Mondays and Wednesdays. Language arts and science will always meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays. On Fridays, you guys will not have any classes any longer. However, Fridays are reserved for testing. So if you get a test in any of your classes, it'll be done on Friday. All work from here on out in every single one of your classes is also due on Friday at 11 a.m. And since we're mentioning quizzes, you're not going to have an assignment this week that's due for me. However, if you look here on Edsby, underneath where I put today's lesson, you're going to see that I put this. You will have a quiz this Friday. And I'm going to open up Socrative from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for you guys to take the quiz. So anytime during that time frame, you can go in. I would highly recommend you not log into Socrative at 1:30 to take the quiz. Why? Somebody tell me why that would maybe not be a good idea.
Because when you do that, your next class is like, oh, well, also office hours.
Well, okay, there's office hours, but why is it a bad idea if the quiz is open from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., you decide at 1:45 to log
Oh,
in?
You don't have enough.
You only
I
have
have like
like
30
15 to
minutes.
30
Yeah,
minutes.
because what's going to happen is 2 p.m. rolls around, I close the room, period,
Yes.
done, okay? So make sure that you give yourself enough time. I mean, you all should be awake by 11 a.m. I would just say go on then. I have a study guide here for you guys. It's right here. It's also, you see over here where it says pinned items. So as I post things by typing in here, it kind of knocks all this stuff down. It's always going to be right over here, okay? The quiz is only going to be 10 questions. It's short. It's on the media and propaganda, the things we've talked about over the last 2 or 3 classes, and the stuff we're going to talk about today. I put some of the older material, the propaganda PowerPoint on here for you. There's a study guide. I put one of the readings on there for you, so it's all kind of centralized for you guys. Do you have any questions about the quiz or the new schedule at all? Wyatt, what's up?
Okay, so for the quiz, if we do somehow like mess it all up, does that mean on like next Friday is that gonna be the quiz retakes?
Yes.
Or okay.
Yep, always on Fridays. Okay. That's a good question. Any other questions? You sure? All right. So what we're going to talk about today is this is the kind of the last new thing. And I called it polling in the media. Do you guys know what polls are? What's a poll? It's the thing that holds a house up.
The polls are like, aren't they kind of like, they're kind of like voting. It's kind of like they set up a poll,
Okay.
like who do you want to vote for most?
Okay. So you go to a poll to vote. What does it mean like in class and I take a poll? If I ask you guys a question and say, which one do you prefer, this one or that one?
Yeah, that's a poll.
Okay, so a poll is when you ask people questions to get their opinion on things, to kind of gauge how people feel. So maybe in class,
Percentage?
I'm sorry?
Percentage?
Yeah, you get a percentage or a number. So maybe if we were in class and we had a pizza day, I would say, what topping do you want? And you guys would all vote. That's me taking a poll to kind of get a gauge on what you guys feel. Does that make sense? So
Yes.
polling is used in politics quite a bit. You may see on TV, like they'll have the president's approval rating. They usually do that every single month. And they ask people, how do you feel how the president is handling the coronavirus crisis? And they'll give you a choice of 3 or 4 answers. I think he's doing a great job. I don't think he's doing a great job. And then when you're watching the news at night, they'll put that up there. And that changes from month to month. That's one example of a poll. So what we're going to talk about today is the different types of polls that are used in politics, what they are used for, and what they mean. Okay? So, what is a political poll? Can I have somebody volunteer read this for us, please?
Don't worry, I got you.
All right, go for it.
Polls are used to gauge
Gauge.
what the public thinks about a given topic or candidate. These are called opinion polls. Political polls attempt to use a sampling of the population to make predictions about how an election is going to turn out, what issues voters care about, and what the general mood of the country as a whole is. There are many types of polls.
Okay, so that's what a political poll is. It's used to figure out what people are thinking, who maybe they're going to vote for, what issues they're concerned with, and then that data is used for different things. Did you guys do a lot of this kind of stuff in science class? Like you talk about polls and bias and what did you guys discuss in science class about that? What sort of things do you know from Mr. Warner?
Well, I know that like every day he usually sets up a poll for us.
Okay.
But like
what's the purpose of those polls?
Well, the purpose of the polls is try to get an answer out of us to see like which of us thinks this more. So it was like, what do you think which finch bird do you think will survive the most? Like this bird won, this bird won, this bird.
Okay, so it sets up, it's like he's setting up a science experiment, but he wants to kind of gauge how you feel about it first.
Yes.
Sort of a thing. Why do you think he does that? That's actually really smart that he does it. Why do you think that he does it though?
Well, one, to try to get us active in class a little bit, but two, to try and like figure out which of us like think more about this.
Okay, it's like a preview, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So political polling is kind of the same thing. What they'll use it for is, hey, which one of these issues are you most concerned with? And they'll ask a sampling of the American public. Which one of these do you like? Which one do you not like? So then politicians will look at it and go, oh, people really care about this issue. I guess I better say something about it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So moving on. So there are different types of polls, and that's what we're going to cover here. Okay. These are called public opinion polls. Can I have a volunteer to read what a public opinion poll is?
I'll do it.
Go for it. Who's that?
Fields.
All right, Fieldsy. Go for it, buddy.
These polls are exactly what they sound like. They survey the opinions of respondents on any number of topics. They can measure respondents' approval or disapproval of public figures, whether that's politicians or celebrities. They also measure opinions on issues such as gun control or carbon tax.
Okay.
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, exactly. So if you see over here, this is just an example that I pulled off the internet. And so they poll people, how important is it for the president and Congress to assign a high priority to ensuring faster medical progress? And you can see here, they said the dark blue was very important, the light blue was somewhat important, and then not very important, so on and so forth. How did they divide this poll up? They divided it a certain way so that we could see what? So looking at this poll, how did they divide up the respondents? What categories did they put them in?
Not so interesting.
Well, okay, that's what they asked them.
Yeah, how important they are.
Over here. Where do they break it
Oh,
down?
Democrat, Republican.
Okay, so
Party.
when they
They
asked
put- yeah,
Democrats, people who were registered Democrats responded this way. People who were registered Republicans responded this way, and then people who were neither responded this way. What they're doing here is trying to figure out how members of each political party feel about a certain topic. And this data can be used to make public policy. So when they decide to make new laws, they can look at this and say, okay, here's kind of what the population thinks. So that's what a public opinion poll is. Just like in class, if I ask you guys, which one of these activities would you rather do? This one, or this one? It's the same exact thing. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, guys, give me a thumbs up if a public opinion poll makes sense to you. It's just trying to get a feeling of how people think about certain political whatever.
Ups of a thumb.
All right. You then have what's called a baseline poll. Will somebody read the definition over here for me, please? Riley, you want to? I see your hand up.
Base and benchmark polls, baseline and benchmark polls. These terms are used interchangeably. Such polls are conducted at the beginning of the campaign to establish baseline levels of voters' perceptions, knowledge, and opinions of a candidate.
Thank you very much. Excellent reading. So a baseline or benchmark is like a poll kind of beforehand. You guys were talking about Mr. Warner in his science class, how he'll give you a poll before he's taught a lesson. He's trying to figure out what you think prior to the lesson.
Yeah.
A baseline poll is the same thing. So if you look over here, they sampled 2,518 likely Democratic voters. And they asked them, and you see this is done on April 12th or the 15th of last year, hey, if there was an election right now, who would you vote for? And you can see what they did. Did this poll kind of follow what eventually ended up happening? Who is the Democratic nominee right now?
Biden.
Biden. What were people saying a year ago?
Biden.
Biden. Not by a lot. It's at 21%. And then Bernie Sanders. So this was just to kind of gauge how people felt. A network, you know how they do the debates on TV? Networks
Yes.
use these polls to determine who to invite. So for example, if it said Jason down here and he was polling at 0.3%, would they invite Jason on TV to do the debate?
Probably not.
Why not?
Because you don't have that much people
You don't
on
have
your
a lot of
side.
support.
You don't
Now,
have many
here's
supporters.
kind of the negative thing about these baseline polls. Could this influence how somebody would vote?
Yes.
Yes.
How?
Peer pressure.
Okay, kind of like bandwagon, right?
If everyone else is doing it, I want to do it too.
Exactly. Everybody else is voting for Biden and Sanders. What if I liked this Andrew Yang guy down here at the bottom? And then I see this poll on TV. Hey, Democratic voters are saying this is who they're going to vote for. And I see that. What might that influence me to do, even though the election's not even for a year from now?
Not vote for them because they're smaller.
Yeah, like, okay, I'm going to be throwing my vote away if I vote for this guy. I might as well jump on the bandwagon here. So these polls are useful to kind of get a gauge beforehand of how people feel. The negative thing is they can actually influence people. And you understand why, because if I like one of these people down at the bottom and I look at this poll, does this really make me think they have a chance?
Not really.
No, nobody else is
No.
going to like them. Nobody else is going to vote for them. I better pick somebody up here.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So when we talk about a baseline or benchmark poll, it's a poll before an election to try to figure out how people are going to vote.
Yeah.
Understand?
Yes.
So the next one down, you then have a tracking poll. And you can see here, this is a line graph. Line graphs are used over time. Can I get somebody to read the definition of what a tracking poll is? No volunteers? I'm just going to call on somebody.
I'll do it.
All right. Go for it. No?
I'll read it.
Poor Dylan.
Tyler, are you there, buddy?
Yeah.
Can you read this for the class, please?
Yeah. Sorry. Shorter, smaller plots conducted daily among the same universe of voters at key periods in primaries or general elections to track how their participants' attitudes and opinions candidate change.
Okay. So you see here, thank you, Tyler, I appreciate it. If you look here, this is from years ago. Does anybody know who this guy is?
Bill Clinton.
That's Bill Clinton. Anybody, now, super mega bonus points if you can tell me who this is.
It's very hard to see his face.
He was the Republican. This is from 1996.
It looks like
Ronald's.
Nixon, but I don't think it is.
No, Nixon was actually, I think it almost.
Is it Ronald Reagan?
No, this is Bob Dole's the guy's name. He was the Republican candidate during that particular election.
What's
this
the guy at the
tracking-
bottom?
That's Ralph Nader. He ran as an independent.
Who?
And notice even as an independent, he was still polling at like 7, 8, up to 11%.
Wow.
What is this poll showing? And how is it different than maybe this one?
It shows the
Percentage over
percentages
time. Over
Okay,
time.
It shows percentage, but who just said that? Over what?
over time.
Time.
Over
Robbie.
time. So every
That was Robbie.
in October and November, every week they were polling different people. This is from CNN and USA Today. They were polling people to see, hey, if the election happened today, who would you vote for? And you can see that Clinton held a pretty sizable lead through most of it. He ended up winning that election as well. So a tracking poll is simply when you poll over a period of time. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right. So then we have what are called exit polls. Justin, are you there, buddy?
Yes.
Can you read what an exit poll is?
Surveys given to voters existing polling locations on election day to learn how they voted. These polls are only useful in retrospect to learn from the past. They also help media outlets predict final results before the polls close. This is not to say that exit polls always accurately forecast the actual result.
Okay. So an exit poll is after the election takes place, they ask people, how did you vote? Which side did you vote for? And they try to get a picture. That's why, what happens on election night in the news? What are they doing the whole time?
Talking about who they think is who's winning.
Okay, who was that said that?
Abby B.
Hi, Abby. Yeah, they'll predict based on our polls. We believe Donald Trump has won the state of Florida. Based on our polls, we believe Hillary Clinton has won the state of California.
Iowa.
Whatever state. How do they know that? Well, they conduct what are called exit polls. They ask people as they're leaving the polls. So you see here, this was done during 2018 during the midterm election. They asked different people how they voted. You see for men, 51% said they voted Republican, 47% said they voted Democrat. For women, 59% Democrat, 40% Republican. And you see they broke it down by race, they broke it down by age, et cetera, et cetera. The danger of exit polls is not everybody participates. So you can see
I'm not going to participate.
I'm sorry?
I'm not going to participate. More
look
questions.
Robbie, what does it say down here on the note?
It says that in an exit polls, not all results add up to 100% due to a small percentage of individuals who do not disclose certain information.
So if you're walking out of the poll and you just voted and a news person says, who did you vote for? What's one of your potential answers?
I'm not going to give you my
Who knows?
answers.
Exactly. None of your business.
Or an independent.
So there is a margin, or you could say, I didn't vote for either one of them. So there is a margin of error in these things, but they're usually fairly accurate. So an exit poll is after the election, essentially asking people, hey, you just voted, how did you vote? That's all it is. Moving on.
It's telling you the percentages. So that's not really telling you anything, not how many people voted for it or
Exactly.
anything.
And people can lie too. That's another thing. A push poll. Jason, can you read what a push poll is?
Polls where the questioning is worded to lead the respondent toward a certain response, whether positive or negative. Rather surveying the whole population, push polls seek to influence the public thinking. Push polls use suggestive and misleading questions to get desired thoughts.
Okay, so this is using polling for Bad reasons.
It's biased polling.
I'm sorry?
It's biased polling.
Bias polling. Why would you put out a biased poll on purpose?
To influence the results.
To influence. So what you do is you ask questions that you know you're going to get a certain answer, and then you put out the results and you see, told you so, told you this guy was a bad guy. Look at how everybody responded. But the questions on the polls were written in such a way to get people to answer that way. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's non-scientific polling. This is actually legal to do this, or better put, it's not illegal. I tried to find some examples, but I couldn't find any that were actually appropriate enough for me to put on here. If you look up examples of push polls, you'll see that in certain states, they would ask people certain questions that were just flat out false. One of them was they were asking people in the South if they would vote for Obama if he was not an American. There was a conspiracy theory going around that he was not born in the United States. It's totally untrue. But could that, just by putting that question out there, could it get people to think that way?
Yes.
Yes. That's what a push poll is. So you're using kind of underhanded tactics. You're using non-ethical tactics to try to get a result that you want. And then you're publishing the result pretending that it's scientific. That's what a push poll is. Why do you think they call it a push poll?
Because you're trying to push others to the other side.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. And then the last one, I think this is the last one. A straw poll. Will somebody read what a straw poll is, please?
I'll do it if nobody else does it.
Well, I'm going to call on somebody.
I got you, Mr. Mellum.
Is that Wyatt?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, Wyatt, go for it.
Not a survey of public opinion, but rather an unofficial ad hoc vote. Straw votes do not count toward a final tally, but they provide a portrait of a political race well before Election Day.
All right, so you see here, this was an online example. A straw poll is kind of the opposite of a baseline poll. Remember, a baseline poll is before the election. Who are you going to vote for? A straw poll is, hey, the election's coming up. Who are you voting for? And so they put these things out, and they use that to try to gauge who the winner is going to be. So this one, I don't remember what website I got this off of, but this is a straw poll. Who should be the Democrats' presidential candidate for the 2020 elections? And you see their choices here, and you can vote, and you can view the results. These have a big margin of error. What would be something that could really throw off this result?
Somebody doesn't want to do any one of those.
Okay, so you notice there's only 4 people on here.
Lying.
Yeah.
Could you view the results and just see how other people are voting?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about this?
If you
I've
vote,
seen
then view the
websites-
result.
And this is the problem with doing polling like on social media. What could I do if I wanted to? If I really liked Kamala Harris, what could I do?
You might vote for him, and then you go to view the results, and then for her, and then you view the results, and then you see that everybody's voting for Joe Biden.
How about this? What if I click, vote, click, vote, click, vote, click, vote?
Cheater.
What's just happened?
It's a lot of votes.
I just ran the score up. So you
Voting
got
fraud.
with online polls, you got to be super careful because they can be extremely biased. Depending on the website, depending on where you go to, if they let you vote more than once, should you take the results and go, wow, that's how people really think?
No.
No, because somebody can do what I just said.
Yeah.
The whole point of this, guys, there's just different polls that are used in politics to gauge, just like in science, to gauge how people think about certain things.
The online thing is what you just showed us was technically voters fraud.
Maybe, depending on the website. Well, it's not an official poll, though.
Good job, Robbie.
That is true.
Polling
Thank
can
you, Dylan.
lead to unintended consequences. Do you see this here?
Yeah.
This is President Truman. The Chicago Tribune had done some polls, and their polls, which were not done properly, showed that his opponent, Dewey, was going to beat him. So they went ahead and put out this newspaper headline. What does it say?
Dewey defeated.
Guess who
Dewey
actually
defeats
won?
Truman.
This is one of the biggest newspapers in the country, too. Guess who actually won the election?
Truman.
He
Dewey.
did. That's why he's holding it up, kind of mocking.
Oh.
Will somebody read this real quick?
Sure.
Go for it.
Heading into Election Day on November 2nd, 1948, it seemed like Thomas Dewey had the U.S. presidency in the bag. Numerous polls and pundits predicted a win for the Michigan native, New York governor, and prominent gang-busting attorney. But as a now famous photograph, which everyone, including the editors of the Chicago Tribune, got it wrong.
So you got to be careful when you do polling. If you don't do it in a scientific fashion, you can get wrong results. They jumped the gun, didn't they?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
And did this make them look really bad?
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay,
Made them look stupid.
absolutely it did. What we're going to do, I'm going to put you guys in the breakout rooms in a minute. Reminder, you have a quiz this Friday. So I thought a good usage of our time, there are going to be some questions that you're going to answer as a group. There are 6 of them. And these are the types of questions that you're going to see on your quiz this Friday. So what I want you to do, I'm going to put you into these breakout rooms. You're going to read, you're going to discuss, and you're going to try to answer them together. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to stop my share. And you should see my face here. I have you all in breakout rooms, except for those of you that joined in late, so just give me a moment, and I'll put you in there. You should have gotten an invite, so please go ahead and do that now.
The thing is that my Wi-Fi just like completely
I was
crashed on
wondering
me.
why you left and then you came back in.
It's because my Wi-Fi at the house, it like completely
crashed
crashed.
on
So
you.
I'm using my phone that has network or like okay, I see it now.
I'm assigning you. Just give me a minute. It's just running a little slow.
Sorry, my computer crashed and just
That's okay. Life happens. I understand.
we had to restart the whole thing. So fun, yeah.
Abby, you there, kiddo?
Yeah.
All right, you should have gotten one. Eric, Mirica, Jensen, you need to go to your breakout rooms. Jensen, do you have yours, buddy? Mirica, do you have yours? Clay, you need to go to your breakout room. Mirica, you need to go to your breakout room, kiddo. Jensen, why haven't you joined yours?
Hi.
So where are we at, guys?
We just started.
Okay. Are you guys doing the first one together?
Well, my computer isn't loading, and Robbie
Maddie,
said,
are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you read the first question for us, the one with the political cartoon?
Okay. Look at the cartoon below. Which of
All right.
these points of view is expressed by the cartoon?
So, and what do you see in the cartoon, kiddo?
Oh, if there's a man and there's 2 boxes that says real news and stuff we just make
No,
up.
those aren't just boxes. What are those?
Don't they all like newspapers?
They're newspaper machines. Good. One of them says real news. The other one says stuff we just made up. What's different about the one that says stuff we just make up?
It's sold out.
All right. So, what is this political cartoon trying to say? Leah, what do you think
People
it's
would
trying to
rather-
say? Leah, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Leah, what do you think this political cartoon, the first one, is trying to say? Do you have the thing downloaded?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I think so.
You think so? Robbie, can you jump in and help her out? And guys, you got to be unmuted.
Yes. Hello.
And guys, the
So-
purpose of the breakout room is so you guys are participating, okay? It only works if we're all participating. Robbie, what is this political cartoon trying to say?
It's trying to say that people would rather have stuff made up, like
Okay, so look at the four answers.
made up and not actual factual.
Okay, so which one of the answers do you think best fits what you just said?
I'm not looking at this because my entire computer crashed right now.
Maddie, do you have it up?
Yeah.
What do you think the best answer to this question is?
People choose entertainment rather than information.
That is correct. Good job. Josh, do you have it up, kiddo?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Share my screen on this. Hang on one second. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robbie? Leah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Leah, can you read the question?
What is primary goal of this propaganda poster?
Okay, so what's the primary goal of this propaganda poster? What is the poster showing? Tyler, what does this thing say?
California,
The cornucopia of the world.
cornucopia of the world. I think he's trying to encourage people to move to Canada.
Canada?
Or California.
California.
Oh my gosh,
So,
I'm sorry.
yeah. What is a cornucopia? Do you guys ever seen this, like during Thanksgiving time, where you had this horn that has all the food coming out of it?
Yes.
What does that represent?
The Indians and their horn.
Well, not necessarily Indians, but what is this implying? It says room for millions of immigrants, 43 million acres of government lands untaken. What are they telling people with this poster?
That you should move to California.
It's a great place. Look at the year. What year is this from?
1876.
So it's from a long time ago, right?
Yes.
There weren't a lot of people living in California at the time. So this whole thing was saying, hey, this is a great place to go to. All right, so moving on. Mr. Josh,
Yeah.
can you read this one? What does it say?
Say the cartoon below, then answer the following questions.
All right, go for it.
Do you want me to read like the bubbles?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Your bones are too big, your voice too squeaky, and you got dark facial hair. Let's face it, pal. You're a loser.
And who is the person he's talking to?
I think it's Abraham Lincoln.
It's Abraham Lincoln, like the most famous president. But it's in modern times, isn't it? Who is this guy? What does it say on the door?
I don't know. I can't read it. It's too blurry.
Yeah, neither can I. I can't see it.
It says Candidate Images Incorporated. So this is a media firm that gets people like on TV. And so what is this media firm telling Mr. Lincoln here?
That he's a loser and he's not going to win the election.
Because why?
Just because of the way he looks.
Yeah, you don't look like you're a star. So the cartoonist, the guy who drew this, would most likely agree what? What is the correct answer here?
B.
B is the correct answer. Qualifications for political candidates have changed. Back when Abraham Lincoln was president, did people really care what you looked like?
No,
Why not?
No.
because it was mattered on like
What did
he
they not
believed
have,
in.
Robbie?
Good looks and makeup.
Besides good, what technology did they not have where you really view people?
Hairdressers or wait, no.
I don't think hairdressers,
TV.
they didn't have television. You didn't have to worry about your appearance as much. Now, if you're going to be on TV, what do you need to look like?
Orange.
Well, yeah, but
You have to
need to have
be
a
good looking to
yeah, you
appeal
got
to
to wear
the
the
public.
suit, haircut. Okay, I'm going to check in, guys, with some of the other rooms. Do you understand what it is you're supposed to be doing?
Yes,
Yeah.
please. Wait. So my internet's back up
All right, hold
and
on.
my PC's working. So I'm gonna join back in on
Good.
a different device.
How are we doing, guys? I see that you all have mute on. Nobody's talking.
Well, I'm not really sure because, well, I was just gonna try and do it by myself because, like, I don't know, no one was talking.
Abby, Clay, you got to unmute yourselves.
I already did it.
You already did it?
Yeah.
Let's do a few together. I want to make sure that you understand. But the whole point of the breakout room, guys, is to give you guys a chance to talk. Can you guys see my screen here?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Clay, you got to unmute yourself, buddy. So looking at this, what's going on? You have an individual, and he's looking at two newspaper machines. David, what does this one show?
Real news,
And what is this one?
stuff we just make up.
What's the difference between the two of them?
Like one's like real like stuff, and then the other one's just stuff they make up. So
That's
you just
true,
vote
but
for them.
what's going on here? This one has some available. What's going on over here?
This one's sold out.
So which one is more popular according to this cartoon?
The one on the right.
Okay. Which of these points of view is expressed by the cartoon?
That people just like, or just they, I don't know, like.
Look at the answers, A, B, C, D.
Oh, okay.
What do you think the correct answer is, David?
D?
No.
No, wait, no. B.
People choose entertainment rather than information. Good. People care more about nonsense than they do about real stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, moving on. I'm going to scroll down. Let's look at this one. Abby, can you read the question?
What is the most direct way to use the mass media to promote a political change?
So remember, mass media is like the internet and that kind of stuff. Which one of these would be the best way for the mass media to reach a lot of people?
A.
Correct. Doing an advertisement. All right. I'm going to check on some of the other rooms, guys, and then we'll be done here in a minute, okay?
Oh, I have one question.
Yes.
Is Kim Jong-Eun dead?
We don't know. Probably not, is what I would
Wait,
think.
what?
There are rumors going around that the dictator of North Korea died just because he hasn't been seen in public for a while. The North Korean government is saying he's alive and well, but we don't know.
Cool.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end the breakout rooms.
Okay. Because, thank you. We just got our internet back up working.
Tori, how did they do?
Once they started talking a little bit, they did okay.
Yeah, just getting them engaged. Okay.
Yeah.
Ah. Hi, Mr. Mellum. Hi, Mr. Mellum.
Guys, mute yourselves, please.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, now that we got everybody back in here, we're going to go through this. Guys, I'm going to call on you. You're going to have to answer and read the questions. Reagan Seeley, are you there? Reagan. No, I guess not. Can I have a volunteer read this, please?
Sure.
Kylie, I see you raised your hand.
Okay, I said B because it says the stuff like we make up. It says it's sold out, and people said like people choose entertainment rather than information. So like real information, they still have like a ton of papers and stuff like that. But like the entertainment stuff that's like not true, like stuff that they made up basically is sold out. So
Kylie, you are 100% correct. What this is showing is that, and thank you, people care more about kind of nonsense type of news than real stuff. So the correct answer was B. Gabe.
Yeah.
You there, buddy? Did your group do this one?
Yeah.
Okay, and what did you guys think the correct answer was?
I thought it was C because it's like California cornucopia of the world, and it says room for millions of immigrants. So like it's trying to convince people. So I thought it was trying to convince people to like move.
100% right. So this one was C. It's trying to convince people to move to California because if you look at this, they're implying there's plenty of food, there's open land, it's cheap. Come on in. Good job, Gabe. This one where he's calling Mr. Abraham Lincoln a loser. Casey.
Yes.
What did you think the answer to this was, kiddo? Well, let's look at it real quick. So it says Candidate Images Incorporated. So this is a media firm that helps people get elected. And he says, your bones are too big, your voice squeaks, and you've got dark facial hair. Let's face it, pal, you're a loser. Who's he talking to?
Abraham Lincoln.
Casey, who is he talking to?
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln, who obviously is not a loser. He's one of the more well-liked presidents, right? What is this cartoonist trying to say here?
Democrats suck.
No, look at the answers, A, B, C, D.
They do though.
And he's not a Democrat either. So do you think he's trying to say A, donations to political candidates have decreased, B, qualifications for political candidates have changed, C, political candidates pay little attention to public opinion polls, or D, political candidates mainly represent large business interests? What do you think the correct answer is?
B.
You're right. Why is that the correct answer?
Because he's like dissing the way he looks.
Okay. And when he was running for president, did your looks matter as much?
No.
Why not? Or why do you think not? What did they lack back then in the 1850s and 1860s?
I don't know.
Why is it important today for a candidate to look a certain way? Riley, I see
look like a wacko?
Riley, I see your hand up.
It's so they look professional and
Professional.
composed.
Why did it not matter back in his day?
Because they didn't have cameras or media.
Exactly. There's no television, there's no internet, so
They only had paintings.
Exactly. They had paintings. Actually, they did have photographs back then, but no live video. Okay, good. This one. What is the most direct way to use the mass media to promote political change? Riley, do you want to take that one?
Yes, please.
Go for
So the most direct way is probably purchasing an advertisement on TV.
Okay, and why would that be the correct answer? Why is that for mass media?
Because TV is mass media, since TV commercials are directed at millions of people at a time.
And it says advertisements, so that I guess that could also be like internet or newspapers too, but probably most likely television. Do you reach a lot of people through that medium?
Yes.
Yeah, good. All right, this one is a propaganda campaign. Shannon, can you read it for us, please?
Everybody's doing it. Is the new slogan for the campaign, encouraging people to vote. What is the propaganda technique being used?
Which propaganda technique? Bandwagon, glittering generalities, name-calling, or plain folks appeal means everybody else is doing it, so you should do it too.
A.
Hey, good job. Give yourself a virtual pat on the back.
Yay.
So the answer is A, bandwagon. Glittering generalities is when you say something really big but it doesn't mean a lot. Name calling is pretty self-explanatory. What's plain folks? Can somebody tell me what, just chime in real quick and tell me what plain folks is?
So, Mr. Mellum, what plain folks is when like a famous person is like doing something that a normal person would do.
No, that would be testimonial.
No, that's when the president, he said kind of when a famous person doing something that a normal person would do. He's talking about like the president. That's what he said.
Yeah. No, he said when a famous person does it. Or did I mishear?
He said famous person, but
yeah,
probably kind of
plain folks is when the candidate makes themselves look like everybody else. Moving along.
Obama and that McDonald's like thing.
Justin, I see your hand up. So we have this big, giant chart. Are you there, Justin?
Yes.
Okay. Can you read the question, buddy?
Which of the following issues is considered extremely important by the highest percentage of Americans polled?
And what do you think the answer was?
I got A, the economy.
Okay. Yeah. So you can see here, this is a poll. And so what they did was they asked people what's really important, what's very important, what's somewhat important, what's not important. And people were talking about the economy, which unemployment is also part of the economy too. So I guess that kind of fits together. But all right, guys, you have a quiz this Friday. Can somebody tell me what time you are allowed to log in to take the quiz?
11
at 2.
11 a.m. up to 2 p.m. Where can I find the study guide?
Edsby.
It's directly on Edsby. Guys, when is your next civics class?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Always on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
This Wednesday is just going to be a review. We're going to do some more practice questions and I'll kind of go over everything again. And that's it. You don't have an assignment today or for this week. It's just to study and be prepared for that quiz.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Are there any questions that you guys have?
No.
No?
I need
All right. If you don't have any questions,
hamburger
you guys are free to go.